For those people who don't know me, Devin the Dream Haney. After a hard workout, I always make sure I take my pro-glycogen. Great for recovery. Recovery is a big part of training, and take your pro-glycogen, you'll feel much better.
Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles, being joined with the co-trainer of Shawn Porter, Mr. Barry Hunter, who's gearing up for this fight this Saturday, a unification between these two champions. Barry, it's a tough fight, but it's one where you guys are geared up and have prepared Shawn for this big challenge. Let me know a little bit about what you've been able to bring out and contribute to Shawn Porter and the team to prepare him for Errol.
Well, of course, we go back a ways. Actually, a long time. And this is not my first rodeo with the Porters. It's early on in his career when he first started, when he turned pro. We were with him for about 10 or 15 fights. Hard work, what can I say? There's nothing extra special that we've been doing other than what we've always done, that's just work hard.
Looking at this fight and just finishing up an interview that I've done with Kenny, I feel that Errol's a very complete fighter, and it's going to just be overall just a tough fight because Errol's so complete. You're familiar with Errol as well. You have a background with him from the amateur days. Is there anything there between you guys that you see that's still a weakness or still a disadvantage that Errol's still carrying with him?
Well, of course, in every fighter, in every person, I don't think no man is invincible, number one. Number two, is always something there that you can exploit and take advantage of. There are some things that we see that we think that we can take advantage of, and hopefully that be the case come Saturday. But nevertheless, I think Errol is an excellent fighter. In fact, I know he is, and I don't think he's a guy that's special in one area. I just think he does a lot of things good, very good.
Is this whole experience and going up against a guy that you spent a lot of time with in the amateurs, is it tug at all at your heart?
Yeah and no, because at the end of the day, we're professionals. You got to keep it, at that level, on a professional level. Of course, if we, all could do this without crossing each other's path, a lot of times that would be the case. But nevertheless, it's business. We look at it as business, and at the end of all this, come that 29th, win, lose, or draw, everybody's gonna be cool.
Have you had a chance to speak to Errol before all this started?
Well, briefly in Vegas. We had a few words in Vegas, but I haven't actually had a long talk with him like days of old leading up to this fight. Vegas was the really first time that I had actually saw him face to face, toe to toe. We had a few words in Vegas, and that was it.
How was that conversation like?
No, it wasn't awkward. It was just, how you doing? And actually, I thought he looked taller than he, normally looks to me. But I hadn't seen him in a while, and of course, he's gotten much older now. But nevertheless, it was, just a general conversation.
This fight, a lot of people are thinking that in order for Shawn to be successful, he has to get in and make it rough and pressure Errol. Do you guys get that same sentiment, or is everybody completely wrong?
It just, it all depends on, I think you heard Earl said today, he's prepared for whatever we bring to the table. And likewise, I don't know what they're going to bring to the table, you know what I mean? And so throughout that fight, we're going to have to make some sort of adjustments one way or the other. And, if it boils down to a dog fight, then that's what it is. It'll be a dog fight.
Is it better to have a dogfight with Errol, or do you think it's better to try to box, use the speed, use the lateral movement that Shawn possesses?
I think you're going to have to do a bit of both. Yeah. I don't think you can go in with just that one plan because, of course, like I said, they're going to make adjustments to us, and we have to adjust back to them. So I don't think you can just go in there brawling, because you could get caught with something. I don't think you can, always box throughout the whole course of the fight. I think you got to mix it up.
What do you make of earlier when they brought up the point that Spence, Errol, had said that he feels he could knock out Shawn, and then they countered with, well, you couldn't knock out Mikey. What makes you think you can knock out a bigger full-fledged welterweight like Shawn, who's shown that he can take a punch and has a rock-solid chin?
Shawn definitely can take a punch. You know, everybody knows his history. You know, everybody know that in the amateurs he fought at a bigger weight and he used to getting hit by bigger, stronger guys. In Errol's case with Mikey Garcia, you know, who knows? Everybody's not going to get knocked out. Everybody's not meant to get knocked out. And, you know, on Mikey's behalf, Mikey's is a hell of a fighter. So, you know, he did what he could do that night. You know what I mean? He came out with the victory, so be it. You know, the name of our game is boxing. It's not knock you out. You know what I mean? If it happened, it happened. But, no, we're not going to go in there and try to force one. If something like that was to come, sure, we'll take it. You know what I mean? And on the flip side of that, we're not going in to get knocked out because we prepared. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's going to be a fight September 28th, and it's going to be war.
I know the last few fights that Shawn's had, they've been a little bit closer than the team has liked. I know every fighter going into a fight, they want to have a clear, concrete win. Do you feel this fight has the makings of potentially maybe being a little close?
Absolutely. I mean, when you go in every fight has, especially at this level. You know what I mean? You understand, you're talking about the best fighters in the world. And, you know, they didn't get to be the best in the world by just getting there. You know what I mean? They had to fight to get there. They did their homework. They prepared. And it's no different from the fight on the 28th. Both guys did what they feel that they needed to do to get right for this fight. And in the case of Shawn's last fight, you know, and I heard that a lot with the Ugas fight, where the father had a vision. He discussed that vision with Shawn, and Shawn went out there and did what Shawn did. You could look at it several different ways. You know, to some people, he should have went in there and mauled and brawled like he can do. But he knew that Ugas was expecting that, so he flipped the script and he started boxing. You know what I mean? And when you prepare or are preparing to fight somebody like Shawn, and you prepare for that war, and that war don't come, sure to throw you off. You know what I mean? And it threw Ugas off a little bit. So I wasn't mad at it. You know what I mean? The game plan was different going into the fight, but they saw something and shifted it, switched it up. He got the nod.
Ultimately, when it comes down to September 28th and you knowing the plan, you knowing what you guys want to try to implement, what is going to make the difference on that night?
This fight could boil down to just flat out old-fashioned will. Who wanted the most? You know what I mean? Beyond the skills, you know, and some of the things that your statistics doesn't show, it don't show heart. It don't show courage. It don't show will. It don't show none of that. You know what I mean? And the fight could actually boil down to the things that statistics doesn't show.
Barry, as always, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Good chatting with you.
Thank you, brother.
Barry Hunter will be there in the corner this Saturday. Unification, Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, Fox Pay-Per-View.